Yeah, we just got back from Mincha and Myra, so we'll probably have to, we'll have to do the daf at 8:30 now,
Okay.
because Mincha Marv is getting later and later. Probably just keep it at 8:30. That'll probably be the latest time.
Okay.
Walter was there, so he'll probably sign on. Okay. We are on 101. Kuf Aleph. By the way, tomorrow I suggest we learn at 5 p.m.
Okay.
And not only that, and then in shul we'll learn on Wednesday before mincha and on Thursday before mincha.
Okay.
Okay? Kufal.
Right.
Shotaf Nohar Zesa. We talked about the case where a river overflowed and washed away some trees. Amr Ulam Reish Lakish Lo Shanu El Ashenekru Azesim Begushehan. The trees were uprooted with the dirt around the roots. And now they got re-embedded into the new ground. La'achar Sholish. And it's after 3 years, which was, in the first 3 years, it was prohibited on Orla. If it's within the 3 years when it was planted, then everything will belong to the person who bought the zaysim. The Amar Lei, if you would have planted it and you would have kept ownership of it, you also couldn't eat in the first 3 years. So you have to agree that these olives certainly got nourishment from the ground that came with them. And it's not as it remains planted in your ground. And now any future olives really are mine. But let the owner of the land say, if I would have waited until after 3 years, I would have eaten everything. Talk about it. Let me eat at least half. If the trees get uprooted within the 3 years, everything belongs to the owner of the land. The Omer Lei, I would have eaten everything. Let the person who bought the olives, the first 3 years you couldn't eat. Half of it is related. You're eating only half. If I would have planted them within the 3 years, yes, even though I can't eat from the fruit, I can plant certain vegetables in the shade. So he would benefit from it as well. Kuf Aleph Amud Aleph. First stop. A third of the way down. Tana. Amar Halo. The guy who bought the olives says, Zaysiani Noitel. I'm going to take all the olives. Ain't Shamin Lo. My time. Amar of Yochli Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. We don't want trees that are planted in Eretz Yisrael to be uprooted. We needed Rabbah for that din. Ravido Omer. He accepted as a sharecropper to work an ancestral field that was now in the possession of a goy. So he has to give maestris, the noisen law, and he gives the chelik that goes to the goy. Savrua, my staff was, what does it mean, staff voice? Any part of Eretz Yisrael. Why is that called his ancestral field? Because Soda Avram Yitzchak Yaakov, who are our forefathers. Ksavar, Ein Kinanoch Eretz Yisrael, Afkia Miad Meiser. A goy who buys a piece of land in Israel cannot uproot the kedusha of the land to make it potter from Meiser. Even if a goy bought a piece of land in Israel, it's not Afkia the chiyuv of the karka and you have to give Meiser from it. Umekabel, somebody who receives a piece of land, it's like he's a sharecropper. A sharecropper, whether he worked their land or either didn't, he has to give Meiser. Af makabel nami, the chipor chavosu dami, l'chein master v'nois. Amalei Rav Kal Rav Papi, Amalei Rav Zvid, Ela Hadatanya, Rav Yudo Aimer, makabel stem avoisa, mimetzik nochri. Like a goy, along with the government, stole a piece of land. Meiser v'nois l'chelko. You have to give Meiser, and you give the goy his share. My area mates, you ain't matesik. He has to give the share to the goy. So we change. We say a goy who acquires a piece of land in Israel, there is no more chiyuv meiser. Someone who buys is not like a sharecropper. And what does it mean? Meister voice of mamish. It belonged to his family. There's a kanas that he has to give meiser from everything. He has to give extra payment to the bailim. Regular people wouldn't. Why not? When it's an ancestral field. Since the Chomer saying you have to give Maishus as well, he pays a little extra because we want him to go back by his field to keep it in the family. We needed this halach of Rabbah. Itma. I went to my neighbor's field without permission. I planted things there. Rav, Shamin lo. You see, what did he spend? How much did he improve the field? And he has not the upper hand, he has the lower hand. If his expenses are less than the improvement in the land, he gives his expenses. If the improvement of the land is less than the expenses, you only give him the amount that the land improved. How much would a person pay for this field that's planted? That difference you give him. Shmuel's din is followed if it's a field that normally is planted. It's not normally planted. This din of Rav, we didn't learn beferish. We learned that we deduced it. That will also come into Rav. Person came in front of Rav, and he said his neighbor came into his field to plant trees. Amar Rav Zil Shumle, go and estimate the value. Amar Lo, like, what do you mean estimate? I don't lobaina. I don't want these trees. Amar Li Zil Shumle, the Yoro Atachtona. He gets the least, like we explained, either the expenses or the improvement, whatever is least, he gets. But Amar Lo lobaina. I don't want these trees here. I'm not happy with it. I don't want to pay a cent. The Sof Chazir the Gadriva come into lay. However, people saw that he was fencing in this land which had these new trees. You see, it's clear you wanted it. Otherwise, you wouldn't put a fence around it. Zil Shumle, go make the estimate value. Now, since you're happy with the improvement, he has the upper hand. Itma. Your neighbor had a ruin. And I went into my neighbor's field and I built up the ruin. But then the owner is not happy. The Omer lo, Eitziv Avanani no-tell. I'm going to take my stones and my wood back. But Nachman Shamin lo, we give it back to him. Rav Sheshes Omer ain't Shamin lo. We leave what he built. Meitzvei Rav Sheshes Omer Omer, Beishamim Omer Shamin lo, Beisil Omer ain't Shamin lo. So what do you mean? Lamer of Nachman Omer Beishamai? Ahuda Omer Ki Aitan. He says like the following time, not Beishamai, Titania. Shamin lo div Rav Shimon Elazar. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer Beishamai Omer Shamin lo. Beisil Omer ain't Shamin lo. So Rav Nachman relied on Rav Shimon ben Elazar. My Havi Allah, what's the halacha? Am Rav Yaakov, Am Rav Yechanan, Babai Yishomin lo. The person built a house, he can take back if the owner of this korban doesn't want it, we give him back the building material. But the sada ain't shomin. If it's a field, we don't listen. The sada my time mishum yishuv Eretz Yisrael. We don't want to destroy something that's been built up and cultivated nicely. It weakens the ground through these plantings. So you can't just unilaterally, it's not his to say, I want to do it. My binayu, what's the difference between these reasons? It could be nayu, putz la'aretz, because then there's no time of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. I rented a house to a person winter. From Sukkot to Pesach is considered Yimosak Shamin. He gets to stay there a minimum of 6 months. You can't rent, you can throw him out after 30 days. Big city, it's much harder to find a place. So a renter gets 12 months. And a chanuyois, purchasing store, 12 months. Is Shalishonim. A baker or a dyer's facility is not less than 2. Why do we say there's a minimum of 6 months to chi? Agar inish besa. Mosak shamim, agar lakuli mosak shamim. You rent it out for the whole winter. But mosachama nami to chi agar inish besa lakuli mosachama. Why is it the same thing in the summer? So beschir, the soicher stopped. He didn't say anything. He didn't designate how much time. There's not a lot of houses. Therefore, you can't push them out until the end of the winter. But summer, you can pull them out because there's plenty of other places. The safer. How come even in the 12 months, you can keep them for 12 months? If the rental period of time has ended within your Mosak Shani Mafika, you can get rid of them. How could that work? You just told me there aren't a lot of houses to rent. Call. This mission is talking about not actually getting rid of them, lo dio. It's to inform them. You didn't set a specific time. And you cannot get rid of him in the winter time unless you gave him 30 days notice. Even the 30 days and the 12 months, it's to inform. The rent, just like the one who's renting the property has to inform, give 30 days notice. The guy who's renting has to say, I'm leaving it as well. The guy who owns the house would have told the renter, you would have told me the right time, I would have had a good person to rent. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months, it's to inform. If 1 day entered into winter, and 12 months You can't. You have to leave him there until Pesach. V'anan shloshim yom v'lechein. I thought you just said it's 30 days. Achi kama. Im nichnas yom echad masak shamim mahani shloshim yom. Then the 30 days notice will work. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to take him out. If the balabayas wants to raise the rent, after he informed him. That's somebody who's holding on to someone's beitzim to force him to sell him his shirt. It's an oinus. You're forcing it. Meanwhile, the prices of houses went up. And if the Baal, a bias, doesn't raise his prices, he's going to lose money. So, Pshita Nafale Besa, if the owner who's renting out the house collapses, Amarle Lo Adifta Minoi. You renter don't have any greater skills than I do. And therefore, the schiris ends because I don't have a place to rent you. And I don't have to give a 30-day notice. He didn't know either. Zavne or Urte Yaviv Matona, the owner of the house had rented out the house, and he sold it or gave it in an inheritance or a gift. Amarlo, the renter, can say to the new owner, Lo adif migavad asas minei. You're not better than the guy who I rented from. He can't get rid of me until the end of the winter. You also can't. Klal Lebre, if he turned this house into like a wedding house, chazina, you have an efshar lo idea. If this was a quick wedding, if he was not a quick wedding, he had an opportunity to give announcement, 30-day notice to the renter. He has to do it. If he didn't have, if it was very sudden, the Baal Bais can say to the soicher, "You're no better than me," and so he has a right to get rid of him. Ahu Gavra Dezavin Arba de Chamra. Person bought a boat full of wine. Lo ashkach tucha lo suve. He had no warehouse to store the wine. He told the woman, he asked the woman, Islacha duchta loguri, do you have a place that you can rent near the river? Armalei lo. No. Azul kadsha. So he went ahead and gave her kiddusha to be his wife. Yovalei duchta laila. So he gave her a place. Azul abese. Kazav lakita shutterley. He wrote a get and gave it to her. Because he got what he wanted, which was a place for the wine. She went, she hired schleppers, took all the wine out of this warehouse, put them on the road, and then came to Bezdin. Amr Avuna Bered Rav Yoshua, Kasher also King Yasalo. He wanted to screw her, so she screwed him back. Gmulo Yasha Barosha. For example, it's a courtyard that nobody ever rents out. Even a courtyard that is rented out. I would rent it to other people, but I don't want to rent it to you. The dumbest like are you arba? You're a trickery. I don't want to deal with tricksters. Amaskir Baisa Chavero, if you rent a house, Amaskir Chai Badelas, you have to provide a door, Banegir Vamano, a lock, V'chodavar Shemasa Umen, any craftsman stuff he has to provide. Avodavar Shemasa Umen, if anybody could do it, then you can leave it to the renter to do it. Azevel Shabala Bayis, the fertilizer has to be paid by the balabayas. Ve'ein l'soicher He only has ashes that come out of the ovens that he's renting. Okay, stop here. Tomorrow we're gonna learn at 5 o'clock.
Oh, you spoke to-
And then Shavuos, Wednesday and Thursday we'll learn before Mincha. So what time is Mincha called for, Mario?
Hold on a second.
Probably 6:30. Mincha's probably, I'm giving a shiur. I'm giving a shiur Thursday night.
Yavne on the second day, no?
Yes, I'm giving a shiur second day. We'll have to walk. We'll walk. We'll just end 10 minutes early, so we have time to walk for Mincha there.
Mincha is 7:35.
Why don't we call Daf Yomi for 6:30?
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, and then on that day we'll leave at 7:15.
Okay.
Okay.
But tomorrow 5 o'clock.
Tomorrow 5 o'clock. Shkoyach.
Shkoyach, everybody.
All right.